Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
It is Thursday, and all of today's guests, including Thomas Drance, standing by. Brought to you by the Vancouver Giants. Giants home opener is Friday, September 20th against Seattle. It starts at 7 p.m. Season ticket packages now on sale. All season ticket packages now include access to WHL Live, so you never miss a game, as well as the first two home playoff games, plus flexible payment plans are available with no additional cost. For more info, email sales@vancouvergiants.com or call 604-4GIANTS. Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox. Hop exploding with stories about radio station car stickers.
Yeah.
And people's memories.
It was a big thing back in the day.
Those. I don't know if Thomas Drance remembers that, but he joins us now from The Athletic and Sportsnet 650. Thomas Drance, how are you, sir?
Do you remember the Z95 ones? Those were very cool when I was growing up.
Well, you know, it's funny. Rick and I were going on about the CFON and CKLG stickers back in our day, but Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox full of submissions regarding what you're just talking about, the Z95 stickers.
Yeah, I used to get them at the Friday dances at Carisdale Community Center. I learned to press pleated khakis for those. A skill that has stood me well. So thanks, Z95.
I love the memories. You're joining the old man club. I'm loving this.
Seriously,
it's fabulous. Hey, let's talk about a younger man, Thomas. We had his dad on yesterday. What are the Canucks getting in Jake DeBrusk?
Yeah, a good two-way winger, right? There's real defensive details in his game, in addition to the fact that he's been a pretty consistent 25-goal scorer, especially the last 3 years, but really throughout his career, with the exception of a couple of challenging years in the middle there, which were challenging, I think, for reasons partly outside of hockey. He's a good fit, right? He's fast. He can attack off the rush. He's not like an assertive physical player, but he's a big-bodied player, certainly not shy. So, I think when you think about how Rick Tocchet wants to play, I think this is a really good fit to punch up their top six and sort of gives them three wingers between, Besser, Garland, and DeBrusk, who I think we'd look at as being credible top six guys with a chance to make top-line level impact, in addition to guys like Höglander, Dakota Joshua, a sort of Danton Heinen, sort of an additional cast of guys who, certainly could make a top six impact, definitely makes them a more well-rounded forward group.
Hey, Thomas, Heinen, Sherwood, Desharnais, the list goes on. What other free agent moves by the Canucks stand out for you?
Well, Sherwood stands out for me. I think that's a really good get. This is a guy whose 5-on-5 rate scoring stats are legitimately top six level. He's been a huge point producer in the American League, and I think he plays to an identity with far more consistency than what the Canucks got out of Sam Lafferty, even though Lafferty's a bigger body. So, again, some of the same stuff, right? The speed, the willingness to go to hard areas, the willingness to play in traffic, the physical ability. Don't forget, this guy was the right wing on a line with in the Nashville series anyway, with McCarron, that hard matched against the JT Miller line, right? Like, this was their hardest minutes line in that series against Vancouver, and that fourth line was a huge factor in that series. So, I think it's a really good get, and a guy who has maybe a little bit more upside than we think. When we say the name Kiefer Sherwood, we think, hey, that's a nice fourth line piece for the Canucks. But I think there's a chance that he can do more, and my understanding is the Canucks think so too. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know if it'll happen at training camp, but I wouldn't be shocked as the season goes along if Sherwood gets the sort of opportunities higher up the lineup, maybe playing with Pettersson, that, guys like Phil DiGiuseppe and Sam Lafferty got in the top six for the Canucks last year. And if he does get those opportunities, this guy has the offensive profile where I won't be stunned if he makes more of a meal of it than some of Vancouver's fourth-line wingers did last season.
Thomas, we're talking about all the guys the Canucks signed. What player did not sign and left town that concerns you the most?
I think it's Zadorov. Honestly, I think it's Zadorov. I kind of struggle to – I actually struggle to contextualize it because I on the one hand, there was large stretches of the regular season after Zadorov joined the team where I don't know if he was fully comfortable, and he wasn't as impactful or anywhere nearly as impactful as he was toward the end of the season and into the playoffs, right? And for the most part, over the course of his career, 600 plus NHL games, he's kind of been more of a 4-5 defenseman. But first of all, I love watching the guy play. Like, he's huge, he hits like a truck, he shoots hard, and he has occasional, mad dash forays up the ice with the puck, which sometimes actually work pretty well. And in the playoffs, it's not like he had any, can you even think of one of those Zadorov forays that didn't end in something good? It's not like he was giving the puck up and feeding the other team's sort of offensive attack. I also think this team, one of the things I liked about how they played, I think everyone liked it, was sort of the guts that they had, that never say die kind of attitude. And it just felt to me like Zadorov sort of was emblematic of that. Not just because of the constant shots he was taking in the media at the province of Alberta, but just the certain swagger and toughness that he played with. I don't know if there's a way to sort of measure the impact of having a gentleman. Am I frozen, boys?
Yes, but we can still hear you.
We can still hear you. We do like this, though.
I look like a seal. It looks like I'm about to be fed a fish. Throw me some fish, boys.
There's some herring.
I like it.
I'm suddenly like a Jackie Chan movie where my words no longer match my mouth. Anyway, look, I'm just going to try and talk through this, but that image is killing me.
Leave it up.
It's good.
I'm not sure there's a way to measure the impact of an individual like Zadorov, right? And that's sort of my concern here. I think ultimately Zadorov's one of those players who I know what he's been to this point in his career, but I really struggle to imagine that he couldn't be more. I'm not scared of the term on his deal, and I do think the Canucks will miss his secondary puck moving perhaps more than we anticipate when next season begins.
Oh, boy, do I love this. This is good stuff. Oh, my God. Oh, man. We didn't get you to shut up, but we got you to calm down, which is almost as good. Oh, Thomas, one more.
Are we really still frozen, or is this a...
Oh, it's still frozen.
It's still frozen.
And it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. This is lovely. This is absolutely lovely. Are you going to be okay? Are you going to answer the next question or not?
Okay. Well, Thomas, ask it.
Yeah. Thomas, are you there?
I'm fine. I'm good to go. Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay.
I'm there with mouth open. I'm eating air burgers, Rick.
All right. Okay, look.
Catching flies.
What do they got left for the salary cap, and are they still do you still anticipate this is so tough asking this, but with a frozen face. But are you expecting any more moves before opening night?
Instead of answering your question, I'm just going to make a sound like that picture would suggest I'm making. No, look, they have about...
I'm sweating.
They have about $3.5 million in cap space if they put Tucker Poolman's deal on LTI. Now,
right,
they'd prefer not to. And from my understanding is they're discussing their options, the constant reminder, like, hey, we'd prefer to operate next season outside of LTI, has become almost a running joke at the top levels of Canucks hockey operations, because of course you'd prefer to do it. There's all sorts of side benefits in terms of roster flexibility. If you're able to regularly carry 22 men on the roster, maybe what's $3.5 million in cap space today becomes $3.5 million in season plus the extra 2.5 if Poolman were to be put on LTI at the deadline, right? Like, cap space compounds as you go through the season if you're outside of LTI, with potential benefits in terms of what this club could accomplish in season or at the deadline, after January next year. So I know that that's tempting for them, but $3.5 million in cap space is also potentially valuable here as we go down the stretch, right? Whether it's a player that the Canucks really like and want to prioritize in that sort of Pius Suter window in late August. You're
back.
Yeah.
Whether it's one of those Pius Suter type value free agents in August, whether we're talking about a trade with a team that has their own cap issues. We've seen a whole, sort of wash of them.
Now we've lost them altogether.
Oh, man.
It's just so appropriate that we're taking a break after something like this. What happened? He's gone.
He just left the Zoom altogether. So maybe
So it was more him than us.
it was all on him. Yeah.
Can we get him back if you want to say? Sorry, Ryan, I'm putting you on the
No,
spot.
he'll rejoin.
I don't want to say
rejoin the Zoom.
goodbye to him for the season.
Yeah.
He's been so great to us.
I'm assuming he's probably having some kind of network issue. So
Why don't we take a break and maybe we can do that on the other side? We got Thomas back. Thomas Drance
Oh.
from The Athletic. I just wanted to get you back because perfect. You do that well. I just want to get you back to say goodbye for the season and thanks so much for these hits. And of course, we're on 650 as well with you on Wednesdays. We can't thank you enough, Thomas.
It's been a blast all year working with you two gentlemen, and certainly with Donnie anyway. And no, you know I love you too, Rick. And I'm just so thrilled for your success. Love the show when I'm on it. Love it even more when I'm not. So thanks for having me and letting me contribute a small part to some of the best local sports coverage in this city.
You know, we're going to run a best of video, a best of the show over the last 10 months or so. I think that moment in the previous segment, I think it's going to make it.
It's
Thomas.
going to make it.
Stay tuned for that. Thanks, buddy.
Let's go.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
gentlemen.
Have a
bet.
good summer, Thomas. Have a good summer.